Okay, so today is the review for the quiz tomorrow, right? And so what we're going to talk about today is, it is Common Core algebra, and we're going to be doing rational equations and inequalities. And today we're talking about solving quadratic equations. That's all that. Quadratic is just another word for x squared equations, okay? Quadratic is just another word for x squared equations. So factor, okay, number one. I'm just going to go parentheses, 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 right? And I know that x times x makes x squared. And I'm going to use a positive 4 and a negative 4. So I'm going to go positive 4 and negative 4. That is a factored quadratic. Okay. Number two. Parentheses, parentheses. Okay. The only way I can get an x squared is with an x and an x, right? X times x. The multiples of 8. Let's try negative 4 and positive 2. Negative 4 and positive 2 because that will add to a negative 2. So we're going to go negative 4, positive 2. Okay? That one's factored. Now number 3 gets a little bit harder because the multiples of 5 won't make an 11. They won't. Multiples of 5 will not make an 11. But with the help of the 2, we can do it. So I'm going to go parentheses, 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 okay? I'm going to go 2x and x, right? Because that's the only way I can make an x squared. Now with the 5, I know the multiples of 5 are 5 and 1. I know it's 5 times 1 makes 5, but I got to put them in the right spots. I need to put the 1 here and the 5 here. And the way I can check that, I call it the double smiley. Okay, the double smiley will give you the middle term. So the double smiley here is this one and this one. Let's see if we can get an 11. Well, there's a 10x and there's a 1x. A 10x and a 1x is going to make a 11, but if I make them both negative, I'll get my negative 11 back. So let's check it out, okay? Let's see how this works. Here's my 2x squared. See my 2x squared? There's my 2x squared. There's my positive 5, right? You see the positive 5? Negative 1 times negative 5. Where's the 11 come from? Negative 10x. Negative 1x makes the negative 11, okay? And that's how you can check. So if you're not sure if you did it right, FOIL it out. See if it works. If it doesn't work, switch some numbers around, okay? Or try some different multiples, okay? All right, number 4 now. To solve it, if we can factor this one, then it's pretty easy to solve, okay? So if I can factor it, well, let's see. Let's go parentheses, parentheses, all right? X and x. So multiples of 12. Let's see. How about 2 and 6? How about 2 and 6? But how about a negative 2 and a negative 6, okay? Because the negative times the negative is the positive, but the negative 2 plus the negative 6 makes negative 8. But we're not done, because it says solve, right? It says solve. So I need to solve. I'm going to make two little mini equations. I'm going to have a x minus 2 equals 0 and an x minus 6 equals 0, okay? So let's solve. Plus 2 plus 2. One answer is x equals 2. Plus 6, the other answer is x equals 6. Okay, both of these answers, when plugged in, will make the value 0. Alright, number 5. Well, gosh, I don't think it'll factor, but I could probably solve it. So I'm going to divide by 4, divide by 4. How's that sound? So I have an x squared equals 27 over 4. Okay. Now, this next step is to take a square root, but remember we need 2 answers. We need 2 answers because there's an x squared. Okay. So when I take the square root, I'm going to have a plus or minus. Remember I do the plus or minus? So if I take the square root, I'm going to get square root, square root of that, square root of that. I'm going to get x is equal to plus or minus the square root of 27 over the square root of 4, okay? But we can fix that answer. I have the square root of 27 over the square root of 4. I can fix that answer. That's going to be the same thing as plus or minus 3 square roots of 3 over 2. Where did I get the 3 square roots of 3? Yeah, if I put on the sideboard here, I know square root of 27 is the same thing as the square root of 9, square root of 3, right? You guys agree with that? Which is 3 square root of 3, and I know that the square root of 4 is just 2, okay? How's that? Yeah, Jackie?
What if at the very beginning we just subtract 27 from each side and then factor it?
Say that again. Oh, bring it over. Yeah, it will, but it's a hard factoring. It's because it won't factor very well. Okay? Okay, number 6. Arthur, it's going to be a while. Okay. So, number 6. I'm running out. I'll have to slide over, make room for it. Okay, so first step on number 6. What should we do first? What are we going to do on number 6? I won't factor. I'm not going to factor.
You're going to... Oh, you're going to...
How do I... Square root, because it gets rid of the square. Nice job, Cesar. So square root, right? So I'm going to have a x plus 4 equals 2 answers. What's the square root of 25?
5.
And negative 5. It's both 5 and negative 5. So it's plus or minus 5. Okay, so now I'm going to get 2 answers, but to get 2 answers I need 2 equations. They're like easy equations though, but the 2 equations would be an x plus 4 equals 5, and then the other equation would be an x plus 4 equals a negative 5, okay? And it gets pretty easy from here, right? Minus 4, one answer is 1. Minus 4, the other answer is negative 9, right? Okay, not too bad. Number 7 is going to have an I answer. I know it already. I know I'm going to have an I. Where do I see that I know it's going to be an I answer? Okay, I'm going to take the square root, right? Cesar's going to say, Mr. Davies, take the square root. When I do, I'm going to take the square root of a negative number, right? So let's do that. Let's take the square root, right? Okay. So then I'm going to have an answer of x plus 3 equals plus or minus the square root of a negative 16, okay? Right? Which is what? What's the square root of negative 16 going to be? 4i. So again, x plus 3 equals plus or minus 4i. Do you get, where'd the I come from? Yeah, I took the square root of a negative number, right? Okay, then I go minus 3, right? You cannot add these. You cannot. So it's just negative 3 plus or minus 4i. And there are 2 answers there. There are 2 answers. I've got the negative 3 plus the 4i and negative 3 minus the 4i. Those are my 2 answers. Okay? That's not too bad. Okay, number 8. I really think number 8 is the same problem as number 3. I think 8 and 3 are the same problem. I think they are. I think 8 and 3 are the same answer. So let me bring back over the 5 and see if that helps. So I've got a 2x squared minus an 11x plus a 5, right, equals 0. Okay? I already factored that up here, didn't I? So I already did the factoring, parentheses, right, equals 0. And I factored it into a 2x minus 1 and an x minus 5, right? We already factored this one up above, but we just didn't finish it. We just factored it. We didn't solve for it. Okay, so this one's factored. That's all I needed to do on number 3. But number 8, I have to have to solve it. Okay, so I'm going to solve it by going 2x minus 1 equals 0 and x minus 5 equals 0. Okay? So plus 1, 2x equals 1. Divide by 2. One answer is 1/2 when I divide by 2, right? Here I go plus 5. The other answer is just positive 5. Okay, number 9, easiest problem on the whole page. 9 is the easiest. 2 ways to do it. One, we could factor it, or we could solve it. Do you want to factor or do you want to solve? Solve. So bring over 36. How does it sound? X squared equals 36, right? What am I going to do next? Square root it. How many answers? So I'm going to have x equals plus or minus 6, right? So there are two answers, positive 6 and a negative 6. How am I doing? You guys ever see it? Good? Okay, number 10, solve by completing the square. So our steps are up here on the board, right? So let's follow. Step 1, what's step 1 say? Step 1, what does step 1 say for completing the square? Come on, you guys, wake up. It's been done, right? C has been moved to the other side. Step 2, what's step 2 say?
Common factor A.
There's no A, so I don't need to worry about step 2. That's been done. There is A is 1. Step 3.
Take 1/2 B squared.
So B is negative 8. Good. Half of that is negative 4, right? And if I square that half B, I get positive 16. Okay, so I took B, which was negative 8. I took half of that, which is negative 4. If I squared that, I get 16, right? So what do I do with the 16? Add both sides. So I've got an x squared minus an 8x plus 16 equals 10 plus 16, okay? How am I doing? All right, what's step 5 say? Factor, and this will factor. That's why we do this whole process. X minus 4 equals 26, right? And then I can rewrite that as x minus 4 quantity squared equals 26. Okay, we're almost done. We're ready to solve now, okay? Am I going too fast or am I okay? Am I good? Okay, how do I solve? What's Cesar, you got it. You know exactly what to do. What am I going to do next? Square root it. Yep. Square root it. Good job. Square root it. How many answers? 2. So this is going to be a plus or minus the square root of 26, which is not a very good number. You cannot reduce it. You can't break it down. So we're just going to leave it. I mean, it doesn't have good multiples, so we're going to leave it, okay? X minus 4 equals that. And then I'm going to add 4 to both sides. X will equal 4 plus or minus the square root of 26. So we're just going to leave that answer like that. You can't add these because one's a square root, one's not. It does have two answers, 4 plus that, square root of 26, and 4 subtract the square root of 26. Those are my two answers, okay? All right. Ready to turn the page. Okay, now, I'm going to use these notes. I'm going to use these notes to help me out, okay? So first of all, number 11. We're going to put it into vertex form by completing the square. Okay, I can do that. Okay? So, let's change f of x into y. This is the hard problem on the test, but we can do it. We can do it. Step 1. Yeah. Y minus 4 equals x squared minus 6x. Okay? Step 2. There is no A, right? So step 2 doesn't have to be, okay? What is B? Step 3, what is B? Negative 6, half of negative 6 is negative 3, and half of that squared is a positive 9, okay? So I took half of negative 6 is negative 3. I got negative 3 and I squared it and I got positive 9. Now I'm going to add that to both sides. So I'm going to go plus 9 plus 9, okay? So now let's see what I have. I'll have a y plus 5 equals, and this will factor to an x minus 3, or x minus 3 squared. Right? X minus 3, but I just skipped this step. Okay, let's bring the 5 back over. Y is equal to x minus 3 squared minus 5. Okay, sounds good, right? Okay, let's see if we can graph this. We have at 3. So my vertex is at 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. My y-intercept, I'm going to get that one next because that's really easy. There's my y-intercept. That's my y-intercept, okay? Just like in graphing. Remember we did graphing lines? That's my y-intercept right there. So at positive 4, I'm going to put a dot. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? I know that I'm going to have a line of symmetry. We talked about the line of symmetry. The line of symmetry goes right through the middle of the vertex, right? The reason I like the line of symmetry is, and when everybody's watching, I want everybody to watch, I'm going to show you another point that's easy to get. Okay? Here's a point. See this one here? There's another point. It's twin. It's got a twin point over here because it is a flip. You guys agree? It's got a twin right over here. So I can put a point there, okay? Now, if I did my, it's a parabola, right? My 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I get the parabola looks something like this. Okay, number 12. So almost done. So when I did this one, I completed the square, and it came down to here, and that one sure looks like it's in vertex form, right? That was in vertex. That one right there was in vertex form, right? This one is in standard form, right? This one's in standard form, okay? So how do we find the vertex? Well, what do our notes? What do our notes say? Vertex. How do we find the vertex? How do we find the vertex? So let's find the vertex. So x, so the vertex, we're going to go x equals negative b over 2a, right? A is 1, b is negative 2, c is negative 8, right? So we're going to go negative 2 over 2 times 1. And this 2 is in the formula. The 2 there is in the formula. So that's just going to give me an answer of 2 over 2 or 1. So my vertex is at 1 something, but how do I get its corresponding y value? Plug it in, right? So to get the corresponding y value, let's plug it in. Okay, we're going to plug it in. All right, so I'm going to go y equals my 1 squared minus my 2 times my 1 minus my 8, which turns out to be negative 9, okay? Turns out to be negative 9. So my vertex is at 1, negative 9. I'm going to circle that. Okay, I want to use that. So I'm going to go 1, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's my vertex, okay? My y-intercept, let's get an easy one. My y-intercept is at negative 8, right? So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got a, yeah, good. You're ahead of me. I like that. I got a line of symmetry. Nice job. I got a line of symmetry goes through the middle, right? And I was watching Alex because Alex was putting a point right there. Right? There's got to be a point there because it's twin. Nice job, Alex. So I got a point right there, okay? Now, x-intercepts. Let's talk about x-intercepts real quick. Okay, x-intercepts. Let's see what it says. All right, my little cheat sheet, my little parabola Bible. X-intercepts, set y equals 0 and then factor. Doesn't that say that? So x-intercepts, we'll set it equal to 0. So we're going to go 0 equals x squared minus 2x minus 8. And that factors, we've been factoring this one a bunch, haven't we? We should know how to factor this one, right? I keep putting the same equation on there all the time, right? So how about x and x? What are the multiples of 8? Right, how about a negative 4 and a positive 2? You guys okay with that? But I have to solve, right? I still got to solve. So I'm going to go 0 equals x minus 4 and 0 equals x plus 2, right? Plus 4 plus 4. 1 x-intercept is at 4. Minus 2 minus 2. So let's graph those. We're almost done. I'm going to go 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, negative 2. I should be able to graph my parabola n. All right, there it is. And